So if I had to like use my common sense, I would say they was willing to make the fight happen. It came down to Frank not being able to, not wanting to make the fight happen.
What would have happened?
I would have beat the. Actually, I told him this in the DM.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I told him. I said I was gonna beat the shit out of you. So you made a smart move.
Yeah.
By not fighting.
Did he respond?
Yeah, he said, "Oh, you just talking and da da da." I just comment back with a you know the little emojis you put on the DM.
Yeah.
I comment back with a little duck emoji.
Did he say anything after that?
Nah, we just left it there.
What happened there, Bob? What can you tell us as to why they said no to the fight?
Well, we made a deal with Tom Brown, and it would have guaranteed Martin 6 or 7 times more than he ever made.
$1 million, right?
Over $1 million. And Tom Brown closed the deal in good faith, and then the kid said he wasn't going through with it. There's nothing you can do about it. That's it.
RENEBOXYOUNG, what is going on? Hey, I just want to, push this video out here. Shouts out to Fight Hype, for this great interview, with Shakur Stevenson. And I pushed the video. It was a very short one, just informing when it first happened, or when the information was coming out concerning Frank Martin negating the fight, negating the Shakur Stevenson huge opportunity, title fight or whatever. If I'm not mistaken, it was for the WBC. And we all know that Santos, Edwin de los Santos, if I'm not mistaken, his name is replacing Frank Martin because Frank Martin pulled out of it. I think it's one of Devin Haney's. I think it's Devin Haney's WBC belt vacant. Whatever's going on there, but and Bob Arum coming out clarifying, or explaining further and kind of in depth, along with Shakur Stevenson once again via Fight Hype, this interview about the whole situation, man, and what happened. And it was like I was gonna beat the bleep out of you, and then he left that emoji via DM to Frank, and Frank just left it at that. This is my thing on it. I just want to, give my further analysis on this whole thing. Frank Martin, he left a bitter taste in my mouth, man. I mean, as a boxing fan, I really didn't expect this. And Frank Martin really didn't come out explaining his side. I mean, he has probably in an interview out there, but I'm not convinced, man. I'm not convinced in what Frank Martin is saying. I'm more convinced in what Shakur Stevenson and Bob Arum is saying. But whatever the case may be here, okay, I'm not really trying to say why, like, oh yeah, Shakur Stevenson, he's correct in everything he's saying, and Bob Arum also, and because I know there's going to be people out there that are going to come to Frank Martin's defense and say, well, yeah, Bob Arum is Shakur's promoter, so he's going to make him look good and blah blah blah, whatever. I kind of asked myself, like, why isn't Spence coming out saying anything? He's very quiet. He's not saying anything. Generally speaking, Spence don't really talk to media anyway, unless it's for, the lead up to a fight or whatever. But, Spence is low key about this whole thing, and he's Frank Martin's promoter, and he ain't even coming out and saying nothing. None of, Frank Martin's representatives or PR or whatever, and his team aren't coming out saying anything about this, which is one of the reasons why I'm led to believe in Shakur and, Bob Arum more in this case. But aside from all that, okay, aside from this whole controversy, whether you think, Shakur's lying and he ducked Frank or whatever, terms you want to put on him, or, the same with Frank Martin, if people want to call him this and that, whatever, it's over. It's over. You know what I'm saying? It's over. This whole situation's done, whatever. Shakur Stevenson moving on to a wonderful fight, in Edwin de los Santos. It's going to be amazing. I love watching Shakur fight anyway, but, this is the thing. Where is Frank Martin going? That's my question here. What is he going to do, man? Who is he going to fight next? This is the thing about it. Frank Martin, the age he's at, he's up there in age. I mean, he's not old for the sport of boxing, but he's at the moment, man, where this situation happened and now he's looked at sideways. Maybe not as fans, no, but I try to stay away from biases as much as I can. Look at everything in a level-headed, mature, coherent fashion as best I can, as unbiased as possible. Because I know there's people out there that say, well, everybody has a bias to a certain degree. Well, I don't think I do. You know what I'm saying? I try not to, at least, So this is what I'm trying to say here. Frank, he's not looking good, man. This whole situation, man, made him look bad. And what's his next move gonna be? I definitely want to hear you in the comment sections. I want to see your comments. What do you think Frank Martin's next bet should be? Next fight? What's his next best bet? And I think we can all forget about this whole. And I don't know where this is coming from. Frank Martin versus Tank. What is that coming from? I do not know, and I'm definitely going to take that with a grain of salt. However, if that's true, that Frank Martin, he stepped aside, to fight Tank, I mean, that would be wonderful. That would be fantastic. And what am I getting with all this? Where am I going? Is that Frank Martin, man, him leaving or, him skinning out of this whole fight with Shakur Stevenson, it has to be his next fight, man, has to be top notch, man. It has to be a top notch elite competitor at 135. Because not the world, I can't say the whole world is watching what Frank is going to do because Frank really isn't that known. I said this in a previous live session, man, with me and my sidekick LeVar, the vet LeVar Cooper. We just gave her a little 2 cents on Frank Martin and stuff like that and the whole situation with Shakur. And I said there in that session, I said that the only and this was a while ago, not too long ago, but recent, when this whole thing came out, I said Frank Martin is only known because of Spence, man. That's it. He's only known because of Errol Spence is walking around with him and he's his promoter. That's it. Other than that, Frank Martin, with all due respect, I mean, that was a great fight that he did, that he had against the, that opponent. I think his name was Rivera, that guy that looked like that youngster that looks like Muhammad Ali or something. That was a nice fight. But when it comes to, like the elite, the totem pole or what have you, he hasn't really done much, man. And Shakur Stevenson's right. He said it in several interviews that, Frank Martin, he's not bringing anything to the table. You know what I'm saying? He has done nothing. Despite that, Top Rank or whatever in this deal, they offered him a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. Like I said, it's over. My question here is this. What's Frank Martin going to do next? Okay. And just to let you know, this image, thumbnail, whatever, it has that duck because that's all what Shakur said. Okay. I'm not calling nobody who don't duck. You know what I'm saying? I never do that. I have that duck there on the photo or whatever in the thumbnail because Shakur Stevenson, as you can see that text there, I was going to beat the bleep out of you. And that duck is because of the emoji of what Shakur Stevenson sent to Frank Martin. Okay, anyways, just to clarify that. But what's Frank going to do, man? Who's he going to fight next? That's my question, and I'm waiting on this, man. And I'm sure, a lot of fans out there are looking at, getting back to what I was saying, are looking at Frank Martin kind of sideways. They're like, what are you going to do next, dude? If it's not Shakur, which we all know it isn't, it better be someone good, man. Because the clock is ticking. And if Frank Martin's just sitting by, just waiting idly by and just, no. I definitely want to see him fight in the ring, obviously, because I like Frank Martin. I like how he fights. And I want to see him against a top-notch opponent, definitely next. But we'll see, man. We'll see where this is all headed concerning Frank Martin in his career. And I hope it's not inactivity. Just riding off of Spence's name and, Errol Spence Promotions or whatever. Man Down Promotions. So we'll see, man. What do you think? Go ahead and comment in the comment section. Who do you think Frank Martin should fight next? RENEBOXYOUNG, peace, fam.